Hey everyone, I'm Cole, a developer advocate at Mage, and today I'm going to be showing you one of our really cool features, global data products. In Mage, a global data product is just the end data product of a pipeline. It's made globally available to all other pipelines that are within your cluster. So to create a global data product, we're actually going to need to create two pipelines. Let's go ahead and create our first pipeline, which will have our global data product as the end data product of a pipeline. So we'll go over here, we'll click pipelines, we're going to click new pipeline, we'll start from scratch, and we'll build a batch data pipeline here. So let's go ahead and give it a name, and we'll call this GDP for global data products, and we'll just say GDP2, and we will go ahead and create this pipeline. So after we create the pipeline, we can go ahead and pop out our little sidekicks here. And one of these is just all of our files and folders, and another is our pipeline dependency tree. So let's go ahead and create a data loader block. We're just going to use a base template here, and we'll call this GDP data loader 2, and we'll save this. I have some code that is available, so let me just go ahead and copy that. We're just going to paste this in, and we're going to run this code. This is just some fake code I've generated to provide like a customer like total lifetime value. We don't really necessarily need to know what the data is here, but really more about what the global data product does. So once we created this block and ran this code, we can go ahead and navigate back to our Mage Pro our Mage Pro pipelines page. And in this left-hand pop-out menu, we're going to go ahead and select our data products here. So we'll select our data products. We already have one that I've created, but we're going to create a new one here. So we'll click the new data product button. We'll give it a UUID. So we'll just call this data product 2. And then we'll say it's associated with the pipeline. And then we want to make sure that it is associated with, GDP2, which is the name of our pipeline that we just created. So let's go ahead and create a data product here. We'll hit the create button. And you can see that we get some additional settings that we need to create. So let's go ahead and say that our data product is stale after 1 hour. So we want to run our data product every hour. And that will give us fresh data that feeds into other pipelines connected to this global data product. You can see that there's plenty of different types of settings. You can have number of weeks that it's stale, months, years. You can set your you can set your global data product up to be stale at, seconds of minutes of hours. So there's some pretty granular settings you can create there. So since we have set our object UUID as our pipeline, you can see that first block we created is going to be where our global data product sits. So we're going to select that block. We'll make all the partitions the partition 0, and that will get all of our partitions that may be saved within the global data product. Let's go ahead and save this data product, and then we can go back to the data products page, and you can see that we have added our data products to our global data products. So now that we've created a global data product, let's head back to our pipelines page, and we're going to create a new pipeline that basically reads the data from the global data product. So let's click the new pipelines button again. We'll start from scratch. We're going to create a GDP pipeline 2, and then we will go ahead and create this new pipeline. We'll go ahead and pop out our navigation menu, pop out our little sidekicks here. And when we go to add a block for this second pipeline, we're going to add a data product. So let's go ahead and add this data product. And we want it to be this data product 2 from our UUID because that's what we're associating with. And we'll click that. And then we will call this fetch GDP data 2, and we'll save and add. So now you can see that our data product, we're fetching data from the data product in data product 2 or GDP2, and it's associated with that data product 2 block. So we can go ahead and run this code and see what it produces. And you'll see that it is JSON data, but you can see that it's outdated after 3,600 seconds. We created the pipeline 3184 and it's still running. It should produce another item here that will let us know that the data will be stale in a certain number of seconds. The pipeline, it actually did run there. So I actually ran this block twice, and you can see that when the last time I ran it, the new data product will run again in 3,535 seconds, so a little bit less than an hour. So let's go ahead and add a border block, and we can just make this super basic for this demo and kind of extrapolate and use this your different use cases. But let's go ahead and do a base template generic. Don't necessarily need to name this anything. We'll just save and add. And this is just going to be this will just be a super simple turn here. And then we can run this block. And you can see that the data from the global data product ran. So once you've completed these steps, you're going to want to head over to your triggers page. And you will this run once button. This is just going to create a trigger for you. Once a trigger is created, your global data product, I guess, data loader here is going to basically sense when the data is stale, and it's going to automatically fetch your data. So let's hit this run once button, and you can see that we've started here. Pipeline is running. This may take a minute or so just to see it begin to run. So we can kind of skip over to the end here. Really, this is how you would set up a global data product in Mage and access it from any pipeline within your cluster or your workspace. But I hope you enjoyed this, and you can kind of see this round out and complete here. Have completed, and this is how you would set up a global data product in Mage. Hope you enjoyed this, and have a great day.